Hey Steve, how you doing today?
I'm well, thanks, Brent. How are you?
Good, good. So thanks for joining our recording of Plays in Practice. You and I have been working together for about a year in your role at BESLER, which has a great revenue management suite for hospital administrators. And I remember really well when we introduced one of our plays, we talk about it as the decision roadmap. You guys talk about it as the closing checklist, but it's this idea of the last 10 minutes. Hey, we're coming to time, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer. I want to make sure we hold time to just stop and hear from you. Where are you seeing the most value? Where are you seeing the most fit in this conversation? And what would we do about it together? And at first, you just thought it was a little bit too direct. And then I think over time, I've seen you develop a powerful set of questions, which you seem to find quite helpful. I'd love for you to share why you see it as so valuable.
Absolutely. Yeah, I did feel it was a little too direct and I was uncomfortable using that at first, but I think that the closing checklist in the last 10 minutes of the call really does make all the difference. And I make it a point to go through it on every single call. And in that closing checklist, I'm really looking to do three things. And the first is to clarify what level of interest the client has and if they see a fit in the product or service and that they're looking at. The second is going through this checklist is that it actually surfaces any sticking points that could slow down the sales process. And the third is that it builds trust and accountability by helping them manage the initiative forward, and ultimately it accelerates closing the deal.
Sounds great. I mean, it sounds like using the time well, ending well with the buyer, so there's not an inconclusive close, but you actually understand where they stand and what they're willing to do about it. Curious, what are the main elements of your closing checklist?
So the main elements vary just a little bit between the first call and the second call. And on the first call, I'm looking to confirm that we have buyer defined value. So I want to make sure that I can reiterate in their words what they find this product or service as valuable to them. The second is I want to understand who is on the buying committee. Have I identified everyone on the buying committee, or are there other stakeholders that will need to join in on the next call as well? And then the third is a commitment to the next meeting, making sure that we have our next steps set in place and they are clear, and that we have the client committed to our follow-up meeting.
Well, so it sounds like then you want to get all the buyers, all the buying committee on the next meeting. And then what are the kind of the critical elements of the closing checklist in that second meeting?
In the second meeting, it does vary a little bit, but we are looking for, the first thing I'm looking for is a consensus from everyone on the buying committee. Does each person on the buying committee see fit in this product or service? And the second is getting a commitment to funding and a timeline to start the initiative. And once we have those two things, we can move forward with building a mutual success plan, and that guides us through each step of the way, all the way through implementation.
Awesome. Sounds like you've developed a really well thought through process, Steve. That's having
Absolutely.
great results for you.
Absolutely, it has, and it's made all the difference.
Appreciate the time today.
My pleasure.